Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I just want to share a brief requirement that is necessary for those that have gotten admission and want to apply for study visa to Switzerland. It is very necessary that I state here that requirement varies from country to country depending on where you are applying from. And this video is likely for those that have gotten admission already. If you have gotten admission already and you are thinking of what document to take to the embassy and what document to apply for your visa with, this video is a guide, is something that will help you. The first thing you need to do is to download the Form D for the long stay visa if you are staying above 90 days in Switzerland. So you need to fill that form. You attach the form with every other document listed in the visa application requirement and submit when applying. Please make sure you fill the form properly and make sure that everything you write on that form is clear, that they can read well. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please, I'm kindly requesting that you subscribe. That's the only way you can support me. Thank you very much. And the document you need to put together, like I said initially, varies from country to country. So I'm using Nigeria, for example, because I'm from Nigeria. So the first thing you need to have is a valid international passport. Make sure your passport is valid, at least valid for 1 year. It's necessary you have a passport that is valid for 1 year. And the second thing you need to put together is the acceptance letter from your school. It is very necessary that you have an acceptance letter from your school and also a contract of study. The contract of study will show when your study begins and when your study finishes. The Form E or the Form AL. Alright, so the Form E or the Form AL is likely you can either get that on the embassy website, or probably your school can send that form to you. This is very necessary, your proof of fund. Like for Nigeria, it's necessary that you have from 26 to 30k, right? So you also consider the exchange rate of your country to Swiss exchange rate. So for Nigeria, for example, I think the current exchange rate is between 1,930 to 1,945 Swiss francs to naira. So it's necessary that you have at least 30 to 32 million in naira. So it's very necessary you have up to that sum in your account before you apply. So some like for me, when I was applying, I actually applied using my own bank account because I was working. I had the business that I was doing, so I had the documents from my business. I had my sufficient I had my proof of fund in my personal account, and also the company also supported my studies down here. So but in case you are applying and you are using a sponsor, so it's very necessary that your sponsor have this sum in their account, and your sponsor must also write you a letter of sponsorship, and that letter of sponsorship is very necessary. Like what I used to advise and like what I did, the letter of sponsorship, if it's possible, take it to a customary court or probably any court, an high court near you. Then they will stamp the letter to validate it. And sometimes people usually ask me if it's necessary that your sponsor have the same name with you or some sort. I don't think that's really necessary. So your sponsor is not necessary. It's not, if possible, yes, but if not possible, so your sponsor can also be without the same surname with you, and it will still go if the document are authentic. It's very necessary that you submit a verifiable document that are verifiable, sponsorship document that are verifiable. Your sponsorship document is very important. I must emphasize again, your sponsor's document is very important. So please ensure that the bank statement is verifiable, ensure that the letter for sponsorship is authentic, and please always I always advise people, ensure that your sponsor's contact information is always included in the letter of sponsorship that is written for you, in case the embassy needs to contact your sponsor, so they would be able to do that. Some people get rejected because their sponsorship document or their proof of fund is not verifiable, and these are little mistakes that people do when they are applying. When your sponsor is writing a letter of sponsorship for you, please always ensure that he or she puts his or her phone number and email address in case there is need to contact him or her, so they can probably do that. So it's very necessary that you pay at least your first school fee before you come. For some public schools, like some school that requires you to come and write language exam before you pay your fees, like I think University of Geneva do that sometimes, you may not pay your fees before you come. So they will tell you that when you come, you write your exam. So that's an exception case for you. But please, for everyone, if you are giving your first term school fees, ensure you make payment of that first term school fee and keep the payment proof submit the payment proof alongside. Please include your CV in your application. This many people don't see to be very necessary, but it is necessary. It is important that they see that you already have working experience. They want to also know what you were doing between the gaps in your education. Let's assume that your first you finish your secondary school, and then there was a 2-year gap before you had your admission either to study for BSc or before you getting this current admission. So it's necessary that you prove to the embassy that you were engaged at that time. You were not just idle. Okay, so even though the school has given you admission, the embassy has the final say whether you would come for that study or not. It's necessary you prove to them that you were doing something at that time. Now, if you have traveled before to either any Schengen country, the US, the UK, or Canada, and you have their visas on your passport, please kindly make photocopies of them and attach when you are applying for this visa. It would also enable the embassy knows that you already have some travel history before. So you need to take very good passport of yourself, 4 good copies, attach it during your application. You need to have a good motivation letter. You need to have a written document that you will leave Switzerland after your study. Your proof of accommodation is necessary. Then your certificates, your diplomas, whatever certificates that you have, please, you need to include them on your application. And of course, other documents I have mentioned too. But please, these things I have mentioned, they are very, very necessary. So you can check down the bio and the comment section. I will pin some of the necessary information as I have mentioned them here. Please, I emphasize on ensuring that you submit quality documents. Once your documents are accurate and they are verifiable. If there are further things you think I should have added that I have not added to this video, please drop it down the comment section and then we discuss it. Thank you very much and do have a good day. Bye bye. Ciao ciao.